could spit it. Nigga, ABG, anybody can get it. Nigga, ABG, anybody can get it. Yeah, quit all that flexing, nigga. No, he ain't right. Nigga say he in the streets, but
California. This was the scene a few minutes ago. The folks around the stadium clad in silver and black gonna make every last game played in Oakland count.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Ice Mike, and I'm back with another video. Yesterday, I know y'all saw I did a 2K19 video. I showed y'all I'm a pretty average player at 2K. I gave y'all my favorite jump shot, you know. But it's today I came back. I said I'm gonna try to bring y'all some different content. So it's today I bring y'all some Madden 19 gameplay. And I'm gonna probably do a little Fortnite, because I mean, what gaming channel doesn't have Fortnite on it these days, you know? But you know, I'm trying to get more likes, subscribers, comments. So if y'all help me out with that, I'd be very appreciative. But let me tell the story. I got a friend who said his best team is the Raiders. And he said he was gonna blow me out the frame. But I told him, alright, so if your best team is the Raiders, I'm gonna get my best team. So I went got the New Orleans Saints. Now y'all, I'm better at Madden than I am at 2K. Way better. So you know, I played him. We played up until the end of the third quarter because he quit. And I mean, as y'all see the gameplay, y'all gonna see why he quit. Cause I was really up by a lot of points. But anyway, y'all enjoy the video, like and subscribe, and you know, I'm gonna leave y'all comments and stuff. And you know what? If y'all can do me a great favor, spread my channel around, because it's gonna be a lot of stuff. It's gonna be 2K19, Madden 19, Fortnite. I'm even trying to bring y'all some additional content, you know. So y'all like and subscribe. There's gonna be a lot more of my videos coming. I'm gonna try to post as often as possible. I would. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all that my internet is really bad at times. So if it's ever a little while I haven't posted, it's because I'm dealing with internet issues. But I'm gonna try to post as often as possible, you know. So y'all just stay tuned. I'm gonna upload as much as possible. And you know, join the squad, man. Ice game. I'm out. Y'all enjoy the gameplay.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 23. But they'll start the drive here with an end around. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now Carr on the bootleg. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The linebacker, Demario Davis, got a hand in to break that one up. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Here we go on 4th down with Carr. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Marshawn Lattimore right there on the coverage. He was draped all over it.
I don't know why you would do that. It's almost guaranteed points the other way. I mean, I get it if it's a late-game situation, maybe even 4th and inches. But, boy, that's a huge risk to take.
Yeah, now they're set up in prime position going the other way. To throw is Breeze. And he hits on the slant route to Marshall. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the 1st down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
They'll give it to him up the middle, and he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. A great effort there. A 3-yard touchdown run, and the Saints add on to their lead. Lutz good on the extra point. And there you go, nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
That'll be taken in the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Now with the play clock down to 2, we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at the 20. First carry for Doug Martin, the 2-time Pro Bowler in Tampa. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And he's going to lose yardage here, back to his own 18. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
They'll run with Marshawn Lynch, and he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to make it 4th down. Well, as an offense, you know, some drives you have it, some drives you don't, and this one looks like a you don't.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it was 3rd and long. It was screaming for a pass. I think they tried to outguess him there with the running play. They didn't fool him at all.
Went in the wrong direction. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. And, Charles, they just handed them a gift. Going for it there, that spot of the field inside the 24.
Yeah, sometimes you think you've got plenty of time in a game, so you take a little bit of a crazy risk. This goes in the category of...
This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked off down near the 5. And a a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, as the Raiders come back out here on offense, what do you make of what's going on right now out there? Is this a rebuild, or are they just looking to next year? Because obviously the playoffs this season, that's not happening.
Yeah, they're actually looking, I believe, 2 years down the road for their move to Las Vegas. And I think that it is a total rebuild now. Before we thought maybe some structural changes. No, this is a total rebuild. Amari Cooper goes to Dallas for a first-round pick. They let Bruce Irvin go. Their defensive end outside linebacker just released him outright. But look at this. 2019-2020 drafts. The Raiders now have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years. Plenty of cap space. So if you're doing a total...
And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Marshawn Lynch, 68 yards. And the Raiders are able to strike quickly for 6. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. The return man is Hill. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot.
This is caught at the 20. It's a big play there for the Saints. 48 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yeah. Sir, I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in, but when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, it brings me right out of my seat.
And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. How about the first quarter he's putting together out wide? Pretty impressive.
I think that he likes the fact that we're playing this as a day game. You know, some guys, they respond better in the evenings. For some reason, it builds up. For this guy, day game, and he is off and running. You're exactly right. 100 might be conservative with the start that he's had here in the first quarter.
Yeah, by the numbers, he's on pace for 200-plus right now.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Drew Brees, his second touchdown pass here in the opening quarter of this game. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Lutz now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Now he's going to let it go. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A gain of 32 that time.
And Derek Carr just keeps improving. He can be dangerous not just inside the pocket, but as we see here, outside of it as well.
Kid born in California, played his high school ball in Texas, had quarterback written all over it. And his throw is incomplete. Jared Cook, the tight end, was the target. And that'll bring up second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
To throw is Carr. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And this is picked up by the Saints. And to the 43. So down inside the 45. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Saints football to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 1st and 10 following the fumble recovery. Now after the fumble recovery, it's Breeze. Over the middle, and it's caught. Brandon Marshall. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
I'm sorry, but it's almost unfair. If Brandon Marshall can make so many plays, but even when you think he's covered.
He's not.
No, he's really not. He uncovers the...
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the longtime Bengal, Leon Hall. Thomas, the intended target.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Now after the INT, it's Carr. And Bryant's got it over the middle. Martavis Bryant, 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Martavis Bryant, 98 yards. And the Raiders are able to strike quickly for 6. And that's the type of play that'll give your sideline some juice, a long touchdown pass.
And it's like a bolt of lightning, isn't it? That suddenness of that play brings everyone to their feet in the stadium, and he takes it all the way to the end zone. Give him credit for making that type of a play call, even more credit for how they executed it.
That'll be taken in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I
was going for the age.
I remember looking over at it.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Drew Brees does it again. 3 first-half touchdown passes for him now. And the Saints are able to strike quickly for 6. And that one obviously worked out, but it's one where you kind of hold your breath because he was sitting there waiting to take a hit as he threw that ball downfield.
And this is the NFL. You're going to be tested a lot as a guy throwing the football. Will you stand in there, take the hit, and deliver downfield? And when you do it consistently, your offensive line loves you, your receivers love you. Everyone does their job to the utmost because they have that kind of confidence in you, and they know that you've shown some toughness, and that's what he exhibited there.
But your body hates you.
No, your body's not.
And now here come the Raiders. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 21. Carr now to throw. Sliding out of the pocket. Going deep. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield that gets intercepted.
Breeze going to throw. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Frosty Rucker coming hard that time. He's able to run him down for a loss of 12.
Traditionally, as a defense, your number one job, stop the run. But in today's football, it's impacted the opposing quarterback. Make him uncomfortable. And so far,
and that's caught inside the 30. And he's going to have this down deep into Oakland territory. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 46 yards. And the former first pick of the second round of the 2001 draft doing his thing.
And the beauty of watching him play is progressions. Yeah, he can throw it deep, but how about his ability to hit secondary targets, underneath targets, and hits them with accuracy?
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
It's not a bad idea. Set up in the gun. Send a bunch of guys out wide and let the defense think you're going to try and put one in the end zone. But here, the draw play just gets bottled up from the start, and he'll wind up losing yardage.
This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. Here's Breeze to throw. And Marshall's got it. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Oakland after this. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. He dumps it down to Ingram. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. 4 touchdown passes now for Drew Brees. And the Saints add on to their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Lutz now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. We turn our attention here to Martavis Bryant. He'll try to generate some more steam on offense down to the scoreboard second quarter. Not necessarily his fault, but he's always a guy they want to get extra involved.
Keep finding ways for him to get the football. Keep forcing.
And got his man complete. Past the 20. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Martavis Bryant, 82 yards. And the Raiders get a score closer. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Carlson now to kick this one away. The dangerous Hill now to return. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Derek Carr getting ready to go again on offense. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the one interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis?
They'll take the offset. When you're talking about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of the season.
And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. Emmanuel Lamar coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
He's going to air one out. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Now, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you got to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. They do go for it. It's Breeze. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Drew Brees turning back the clock. 5 touchdown passes for him on the afternoon. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead. So it was 4th down. They go deep to try to pick up the first. They pick up more than that. They pick up a score.
I'm not even sure the analytics guys would think that was a good gamble. 4th down there going for it. But they pressed the issue. And not only did they complete the pass downfield, how about the run after catch that ends up culminating in a touchdown? That's a huge play.
That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. So out come the Raiders. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into...
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Eli Apple. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. Earlier this half, you were wondering how the defense was going to handle him defensively. Were they going to bottle him up at different levels, so to speak, is what you said. What have you seen so far?
Well, I think they've been absolutely terrific because it feels like on every play, if we were watching this in the film room, when they clicked off the film or stopped it, you would see 11 shirts of that same color right there in the frame trying to tackle it. That's what you're looking for.
A really good pickup of 28 yards. So we've reached halftime in a wild first. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Derek Carr getting set and ready to go again on offense here. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, you want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the 3rd quarter.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Now Carr. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Von Bell. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. first possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it, and it took the ball off course. So the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall. Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turned into a nice play.
Here's Breeze, and that is incomplete.
There was no secret who they were trying to get the football to.
Well, no, they went to him on first down, second down, third down, all three incomplete.
Yeah, and when you're unable to connect and you force it in that direction, all you're doing is giving confidence to the defense. They feel like they're really hurting you in a big way.
The three straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on fourth. They'll go for it. It's Breeze. He's going to go for a big play. And this is caught inside the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Brandon Marshall, 38 yards. And the Saints add on to their lead. Wow, talk about a big fourth down conversion for the score. Defensively, how do you let that happen?
I think you start with the offense, and you give them credit for going for it and having that type of, well, let's face it, audacity. But defensively, I think you're right on target, partner. There's no way something like that's supposed to happen in that situation. You're supposed to be able to shut that down and get the ball back for your own team. Instead, they give up not just a big play, but a touchdown.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds.
And the defense loses him. It's complete. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Martavis Bryant. .77 yards. And the Raiders make some inroads here on that deficit. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll cut the lead down now to 22. Carlson now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here comes Brandon Marshall and the rest of the offense as they gear up to go again. And now he's inching closer to a 200-yard game. He's been so solid.
And he's really denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to give up. You never want to give up a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. He's closing in on 200 yards. Wow, that's a really big game.
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
I think the last two plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, But how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those two that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. They chalk that one up as a gain of 34 on third down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
Used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 20. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. Well, looking forward to some key matchups in Week 11 of the NFL season. How about Pittsburgh at Jacksonville? What do you see in that one?
Yeah, it's a rematch of the AFC Division Round game last year. And remember 2017, when Jacksonville announced itself as one of the better teams in the league, they beat Pittsburgh twice. Once in Pittsburgh in the regular season, then in the division game in Jacksonville, and everyone's hoping it's half as exciting as that matchup. Jaguars won at 45-42, and Jacksonville fans can only hope that playoff Blake shows up at quarterback.
Now a play fake here on first down. He'll buy some time right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down. You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best.
And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Picked off by Von Bell. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Well, we've got a pretty big sample size now from the NFL season, Charles. I want to ask you, going back to the draft, who was the biggest steal in 2018?
Well, the biggest steal is Philip Lindsay.
Oh, guy that wasn't even drafted.
Wasn't even drafted, but how about what the Denver personnel department did, identifying him ahead of time, potentially not being drafted and ready to pounce when the call didn't come for him. And what a job he's done for them, running it, catching it, open field guy, in traffic, he's done it all. I think Saquon Barkley from the Giants has been everything as advertised. Calvin Ridley with Atlanta has been spectacular. Quentin Nelson, offensive guard with the Colts. He's rookie of the month, wasn't he?
Yeah, back in October. How about that?
Yeah, how about that for an offensive lineman? We've had 4 quarterbacks start games: Mayfield, Darnold, Allen, and Rosen.
And Quentin Nelson, one final note on that. He was the first offensive. Lineman ever given that award, so hats off to him.
Definitely. Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for his intended receiver there, huh?
Yeah, well, when you got a guy over 150 yards, keep chucking it deep to him, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You can get it to him short, and he can make plays that way.
And the Raiders have got him. Now on fourth down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. They'll try and throw for it here. Taking a shot here for Marsh. He's got a man, complete. 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward.
And that's how you throw for a whole heap of yards in a game. You get efforts like that from your receivers. How about him laying out for that catch?
Yeah, excellent. Makes the quarterback look a whole lot better. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Back to the air on second down. It's Breeze. Looking deep downfield. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. And with that, they're down to one remaining here in this second half. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Again, it's Breeze. And that will be incomplete as well.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And this one will not work out. It is incomplete. It would have been a long field goal. The fake doesn't work out. Well, Charles, the trade deadline obviously is now passed. So you look back at the number of guys that went different places. Which trade caught your eye the most?
Well, there are a few of them, and they all had one thing in common as far as I could tell. They were all made with the idea of that team winning big this year. Ha-Ha Clinton-Dix from Green Bay to Washington. Washington in first place at the time when they make the trade. They're thinking about winning their division and advancing in the playoffs, getting more help in the secondary. How about Golden Tate going from Detroit to Philadelphia? The Eagles.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd interception of the game, and so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Infraction, defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Now Breeze. Looking long for Thomas. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Marcus Gilchrist.
Brandon, it's not a bad time to take a shot downfield. You've got a 1st and 5, but you've got to hope that the worst thing that comes out of it is an incompletion. Instead, this is good coverage, and it winds up being intercepted.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game. Well, switching gears for a second, let's look ahead to some of the big games of Week 11. And I think the biggest one is occurring south of the border, no doubt. How about the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Rams playing in Mexico City?
Yeah, neither team unbeaten as they go into it, but still one of the biggest games of the year in the NFL. Remember when they shared a state, the state of Missouri? They used to play for the Governor's Cup. Now they're going to play in Mexico City, and all the eyes of the NFL will be on this one. First team to 50 wins?
I think I was just going to say, I think that might be the case. And can anybody slow down Patrick Mahomes? This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. 3rd down, it's Doug Martin. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns.
And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And now here is another interception. P.J. Williams with a pick. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner forgets starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make your...
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Traquan Smith from 8 yards out. And the Saints take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash in for 6.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're...
Y'all please like, subscribe, and leave y'all comments. And spread this channel around because there's going to be a lot more content on the way. Join the game, y'all. Ice games all week.